and welcome to Salmon's Pizzeria, your slice of Scottish football for this weekend Championship Roundup. Tonight I am joined by Aiden,
Hello.
And we are also joined for the first time in the Championship Roundup anyway by Kieran Ashton. How are you, Kieran?
I'm all right, thank you. Delighted to be on. It's a pleasure to be back on again. Obviously, I was on the episode last week, but that was through a voice note. It's actually or not. I've not been on the live recorded one, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
You're in the proper big leagues now. You're in the studio.
Yeah. I've been promoted. Something Thistle can't do, but
yeah. So we might as well get it out of the way first of all. And as I am the host, I want this done as soon as possible. we start off with Livingston 2, Raith Rovers 1. I feel like I am repeating myself at this point, where it's a case of Raith Rovers dominate the first half. We score a goal from open play, which doesn't happen often. It's the first time it's happened since we drew with Aki's 3-0, and those 3 goals that we scored were the only 3 goals we had scored from open play all season. So it was like to go 1-0 up from a goal that wasn't a penalty was a miracle in its own right. But it was a good goal. Stanton getting the ball down the left, cutting it in to Jack Hamilton, who slots it away. It's something that was pretty much repeated throughout like the entire first half, where we were just going down that left-hand side. Finlay, Pollock, Liam Dix, Sam Stanton, they were just all going there and just causing issues. And then Jack Hamilton was there just being a menace like the whole game. But it wasn't all plain sailing. We did have a moment where Dabo headed the ball back to... So it was like a cross came in from the right-hand side for Livingston, and it falls to Dabo, who heads it back to Kevin. Kevin wasn't at his goal. Kevin was about halfway to collecting it, and then the ball just goes past it. Now, the thing is, it's like watching the highlights. The highlights show it from the Livingston side, and it wasn't going near the net. But it's like watching from where we were. Obviously, it's like we can't really see that, and we're just seeing this ball just slowly go. It was like watching it in slow motion. You're just thinking, "Oh God, no! What have we done?"
They are like the worst goals to concede as well. Just seeing that ball just slowly trickle over the line, man. It kills.
When it's in like slow motion.
Yeah.
It's like slow motion, but yeah, it's like aside from that, Livingston couple of chances towards the end of the first half, but nothing really major. But it's like at half time, I was walking about the concourse just chatting to pals, and I was saying to them, this has been a really good first half, but I'm terrified of the second half. And to put it into context, if games ended at the end of the first half, Raith would be on 19 points. We're on 8.
Welcome to our world.
Yep.
Can you see what the manager's trying to do now? Like,
absolutely.
Against us, there was no identity there, but also you've got Sam Stanton back in the midfield. Can you see what he's trying to implement?
Yeah, Sam Stanton, he got the assist. It was his first start, actually. It's his first start coming back from injury. He came on against Queen's Park, and he was excellent against Queen's Park as well. But there is definitely a style. It's quite fast-paced, quite quickly going forward. And it's really enjoyable to watch. If only we could get the results. And this was one of those games where it's like, once again, just like, if only we could get the results. And like last time, where I complained about the referee not knowing the handball rule, I have no idea why Liam Dick got sent off. Again, it's like... So the first booking that he got was for time wasting. In like the 50th minute from a throw-in. Now, it's like Liam Dick, when he takes throw-ins, he usually takes around 15 seconds, just like picks the ball up, just gets everything set, and then at about that time, about 10, 15 seconds, players will start to move and ball's released. And it's like the moment players start to move and Dick goes to throw the ball, the referee pulls him up and gives him a booking. And it's like, what? It's almost like nothing egregious has happened. So it's like, unless he's had like a talking about it in the tunnel at half time or something.
Yeah.
It's like, in what world? It's like, I have seen far worse cases of players time wasting with throw-ins and not being pulled up whatsoever. It's it just
That's
it
not.
boggles the mind. And then 5 minutes later, a pass is played out. It goes between two Livingston players, and it's going to one of the boys on the wing. And Liam Dick slides in and intercepts it because let's face it, whoever that Livingston player is, there is no way the ball coming off his leg fires off towards the halfway line in the trajectory that it does.
Yeah.
Dick has won that ball cleanly, and he gets a second booking.
Yeah, I seen. That was the thing I seen. Yeah.
It's
There's a
like,
video. Yeah, it's nuts.
what? And it's like, you might think about it, and it's like, okay, maybe it's endangering the opponent because that can happen. Winning the ball isn't everything nowadays. It's like if you win the ball, but you've gone in like studs up with your foot like 3 feet off the ground at like hip level or whatever, then you're gonna get a booking or whatever for that.
Yeah.
But it's like his foot is his studs are down.
Yeah.
Like he's not done it. It's like there's nothing there that would suggest a booking. And even if he did catch him and it was a booking, he shouldn't have been booked in the first place for the throw. And it's just, what the fuck? I swear to God, it's like every week, like something has gone wrong when it comes. There's just been some bizarre refereeing decisions in Rovers games, and it's a general problem. I've said this like just about every single time. The main problem with VAR in the Premiership isn't VAR isn't in the Premiership itself. It's in the lower leagues because we're like the standard of officiating has been going down season on season, and this season has been by far and away the worst for it.
I was about to say that. Yeah, it's probably
it's been brutal.
Yeah,
it's been absolutely brutal.
And do you put that down to why?
Sorry, Aiden, on you go.
No, sorry.
So I was just basically like going to echo what Callum was saying there, like with Thistle games and that as well. I'm pretty sure I think we should have had a penalty at Starks earlier this season as well. That it was like basically I don't think it's to the extent where Raith is, because that like going on Twitter and seeing like even last week I think a penalty wasn't given or something like that.
The handball situation where the referee didn't know what the handball was.
It seems like it's literally every bloody week. These are happening. That this is happening. Like even we'll obviously go on to discuss the Thistle game more in depth, but the ref we had Napier, who was the referee for the Thistle Queens Park game on Saturday. He was shocking. he was really bad. Not Nick Walsh levels bad. I think that's the worst I've seen. But Napier was up there. He was giving Queens Park absolutely fucking everything. But it seems like it's more so with Raith. It seems like it's every fucking week we use, and it's nuts.
It's like the complete inconsistency, because I just said about the Dick challenge. See, 5 minutes later, whoever Livingston's number 5 is, went into the back. Like, he came sliding in from behind and just wiped out Finlay Pollock. And obviously a free kick was given, but no card. And it's like, that was more egregious than whatever Liam Dick has done. Like, Liam Dick was I think we had one booking and one red card in that game, and it was Liam Dick. And it's like, neither were bookings.
Yeah.
It's like, we've had 4 red cards in 10 games this season, and it's a case of, what were they? So it was Sean Burnett Air, where he was bundled over, fell on the ball, thought he'd won a free kick, so grabbed the ball and he got sent off for that. Ewan Murray against Dunfermline, where he bundled over one of the Dunfermline players when he was last man. That's fair enough. We then had Dylan Easton sent off last week for calling the referee a useless C word, which, to be fair, he wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
And now we got Liam Dick sent off for 2 yellow cards for seemingly no reason. So it's like, it's just really, really bizarre just seeing like these refereeing performances.
I don't think the referees know the rules either these days. Callum's trying to implement so many good ideas that it's just too much. I know he's trying to do it for the benefit of the game, but then we're getting all these, disrespecting them, lower level referees, and it's a high level league, and it's costing teams big points.
Absolutely.
Us against Ayr United a few weeks ago, Jay Henderson scored a penalty, 2 touches of the ball. Everybody in the stadium can see it, and Monroe's just standing there looking at it like, no idea what's going on.
Anyway, enough about referees, because let's just face it, I'm repeating myself every week. I'm going to go over this week's points in next week's video. So Raith managed to hold on until about the 75th minute. It was still fairly 50-50, even with the 10 men, same as, I can't remember what game it was. I think it was Airdrie last week when they went down to 10 men against Thistle, where it's like they were still playing the same way and they were still getting forward, still creating chances. Same again, Raith were getting forward, getting chances still. But then we do concede in the 75th minute. It's Danny Wilson scoring from a header. Callum Fordyce is caught under it. And it's just same old balls crossed in, headed goal. Not surprising at all, but it's like at that point we're like, okay, we're definitely worthy of at least a draw with how we performed, even with 10 men. And we still kept on. But before this goal, there was something brilliant that happened. Tete Yenge got brought off. And he went absolutely mental.
Yeah.
Like it's like where we sat was like directly opposite from the Livingston dugout, and we could just see Tete Yenge he wasn't sat down, he was stood up at the back of the dugout, just going absolutely mental at Martindale and the coaching staff.
That is one person I would not be going mental at.
No, absolutely not. Something similar happened to the QP at the Queen's Park game, Queen's Park Thistle game on Saturday. It was Scott Robinson. Kicked, I think he got brought off for. Who did he get brought off for? Might have been Robbie Crawford. I'm not entirely sure. Might have been. But he got brought off anyway, and I think he kicked the fucking. I think he either kicked his seat or he like kicked the gate as you go into the dugout. Yeah, and even if Thistle fans were a bit like, oh, like why is he going off his nut, man? But no, I mean, it's good seeing that. It's good seeing that, like, kind of the passionate side of that. But at the same time, you're like, mate, you were.
At the same time, it's just like we're going to be watching the team sheets to see if they're back in the squad.
Yeah. So, obviously, I'll probably like go just speak a bit better, but speak more about that when we go into the Thistle game. But it'll be interesting to see how that develops over the next couple of weeks if there's kind of something going on there. But aye.
So yeah, aside from Tete Yenge kicking off and Danny Wilson getting a goal, Raith going. It's like it isn't a case of okay, it's 1-1, there's 15 minutes to go, we're down to 10 men, let's sit back. No, Raith are still going forward, Raith are still pushing for it, and then Livingston get a red card. Was it? It was before the goal. Yeah, it was before the goal. And to prove I'm not biased, this wasn't a red card either. This wasn't a red card because the boy. So it's like Comedian David, who made his first start, he's making his first appearance for us, and so it's like he was about to run through on goal and he gets bundled over, and so the ref has obviously sent the Livingston player off. But there was, from where I was sitting, it looked as though as if there was 2 players who were further back than him. So it's just sort of what. I don't think the referee had any idea what was going on. But it's like, even with 10 men, and it's like, okay, this is anybody's game. This is really anybody's game now. And unfortunately, it was Livingston's to win.
Who scored, Callum?
I'm getting to it. So to be fair, like, about 30 seconds before, about a minute beforehand, I'm stood up celebrating Kevin Dabrowski because he's just made a brilliant save. Like, it was a really, really good save. And then we just concede from a corner from Michael Nottingham. And it's just a case of, it's a case of it's just like we are genuinely incapable of set pieces. We are actually incapable of set pieces and crosses. I can't remember the last time we scored from a cross or like a set piece of any kind. And in the calendar year, we have conceded 22 goals
Jesus
from
Christ.
crosses. We're at the end of October. So it's just sort of how?
Why
Yeah,
do you
that's-
think
that's-
it is?
The thing is, Liam Dick, he was starting in place of Stevenson for this game, and I fully believe he was brought in to deal with that because Liam Dick's about 6 foot tall, and then we've got Fordyce and Hanlon who are both around about 6 foot tall, and it's with Dick coming off, and we're bringing Stevenson on who is like 5'8" or something. He's quite short. We again lose. We just don't have. Jack Hamilton was also off at the time, and he's about 6'2" as well. So we started off with 4 players who would be like, right, those 4 players, perfect for winning headers or dealing with headers or whatever. And we were down to 2 of them. And Livingston are a side with tall players. they're quite physical, their squad. And yep, just why? Why do I do this?
Do you think you set up wrong when Livingston went down to 10 men as well? Do you think you could have went for it a bit more, or was it pretty even?
With when it was 10v10, it was pretty even. Even after Livingston scored, Raith went straight up the pitch, had a couple of chances, and then there was a corner, but it was a bit of smash, but it got cleared, and that was that. It was, but from a neutral's perspective, it was definitely entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But it is just like, I'm not a neutral, and I want to die.
What do you think the problem is? Do you think it's a lack of belief in the players and just need that win to give them a boost, or just total incompetence from the referees and there's no luck?
I think whatever luck we used in the first half of last season, it's all about yin and yang.
Yeah.
So we're getting paid back for that. Because first half of last season, it's like we were getting like a last minute winner every other week.
Yeah.
And now we're just getting the most bullshit things happening to us week on week. It's just sort of why.
Yeah, because that luck that you're talking about, that ran right up to even our game when we played you in December. At Starts Park that you scored, because we used for 2-0, 2-0 up. We clawed it back to 3-2, and then you scored 2 within the last, was it 10, 15 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember week on week, you would be down a goal and then you'd come back and score 2 late goals to win it. You're like, how are they getting this luck? And now, ever since that turn of New Year, it's just been, kind of poor for me. So the form that you have been in at the moment, but that's.
Who have you lost over the summer?
Trying to think. We lost Ross Millen. The silence tells you it isn't really anyone from the first team that we've lost.
I know Ruddin's at Queen's Park now, but obviously I don't think that was much of a loss for you.
No, not really, not at all. He scored against what? He scored against Ayr. No, he got an assist against Ayr. He scored against Dundee United,
and
then he spent every other game 10 yards offside. Genuinely, it's you see the thing about Mbappe where he got we was recorded offside 7 times against Barcelona. That was Zach Rudden every single game. I think it was see with the playoff game at Firhill.
Yeah.
Zach Rudden came on off the bench and I think he was caught offside 3 times. But the thing is, I think that was a genuine tactic at that point to waste time.
Aye. There was calls for Zach Rudden to come back to Thistle, and at the start of it, was the thought of it was good because we know how good he can be. But now, on Saturday again, we'll go into the Thistle game a bit more depth when we come along it. he was poor, really really poor. He had a couple of chances where, like, if that was a couple of years ago, when he was with us, he was putting them away. I don't know what it is, but
He was the same against us as well. When we played Queen's Park, so many chances, and see the Zach Rudden that was at Falkirk under Ray McKinnon, he puts them away.
Aye. Like, I don't know, like, he forged such a fantastic partnership with Graham when he was with us. I don't know if he's missing that. I don't know if it's a case of he's missing that, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. Because the thing is as well, like, when I watched the Dundee United game last season, the one that was on the telly, I was quite impressed with him for Raith. I thought he was pretty good. Obviously, he got the goal in the night as well, but I thought he put himself about well.
I think for Queen's Park though, they're more centred around Dom Thomas, aren't they, than Zach Rudden.
I don't know. I don't know what's happened to Rudden, but not a problem, I suppose.
I not a problem either. What is a problem though for Aiden is that the next game we're talking about is Hamilton 3, Greenock Morton now.
My phone is losing connection.
Look, if I can talk about Raith for 20 minutes, you can talk about Morton, okay?
There's just no words to sum it up other than, I don't know, it was just really poor defensively for 10 minutes. We controlled the whole first half. I say control it. You can keep the ball as much as you like, but if you're not creating any chances, then are you controlling the game? We kept the ball to stop Hamilton doing anything pretty much. And it's what we're trying to get good at doing. The longer we've got the ball, the less time the other team get a chance to score against us. But we create nothing. And then we've got a big chance in the second half from Owen Moffat. He's 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, steals it off the defender, and he's passed it right down the middle to him. And from there, the hedge went. Kurt Broadfoot looked like a 40-year-old man. Zach Delaney looked like he's just left Arbroath. It was really, really bad. And we've got a lot of injuries at the minute as well. 2 centre-halves are out, Morgan Boys and Dylan Corr. They're 2 starters for us, and they're young, they're fast, they're strong. So we're missing them. We're playing with Kurt Broadfoot at centre-half. Alex King's having to fill in at full-back. He's a young kid as well, so he's not got the experience in the league. Midfield's losing a lot of legs as well. I don't know what it is. There's something not right with us. And
I heard as well, sorry to interrupt you, Aiden, but you had two your keepers were out as well, so...
Yeah, Ryan Mullen got injured against Raith Rovers. He forced himself to play the last 5 minutes for whatever reason. And then Gary Woods has stepped up for us, and Dougie said he declared himself unfit on Friday after picking up a knock in Wednesday at training. So we brought in Lewis Budinakis for the next 2 games. It wasn't really at fault for the goals. I think he could have maybe been a wee bit more commanding in the box, but he's a young kid. He's come in and he's helped us out in the last minute. I'm not going to sit here and blame him for any of the goals. The defence has got to take responsibility for that. When you get guys like Kurt Broadfoot in front of you, you'd expect him to be helping you out a lot, and he did let him down. We gave Ollie Shaw too much time on the ball. I think it was the third goal, cracking finish, edge of the box. He rolled it. He just cut Broadfoot as a wall and just put it round him. Second goal I thought was offside. I don't know if you've seen it and what you think about it, but Ollie Shaw looked like he was offside. Good line from the defence. And Lloyd Wilson, the referee, staring at the assistant ref like, is it off? Because he looks like he thinks it's off. And the linesman staring at him to say, I don't know either. And if you don't know, you don't give it. And that was the second goal. So I think as soon as that went in, the heads were totally gone. Dougie said it as well. It's unacceptable to concede 3 goals in 7 minutes. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. So I don't know what you thought of the game, but for me, at this level, when you concede 3 goals in 7 minutes, it's just embarrassing.
Yeah, no, like watching the highlights, I fully believe that if Moffat scores that 1-on-1, Morton go on to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with a big chance in the first half as well. Stuparevic had a glancing header across the face of goal, and I expect him to score a lot of goals this season. And again, I expect him to put that away. I don't know, there was just a lack of belief at the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like as you were saying, it's like you were playing Kirk Broadfoot. Like that's just not a recipe for success at this level. I'm sorry.
Broadfoot has been good this season. I know that everybody ridicules him because he's old, he's made a mess of himself over the last years, but Kirk Broadfoot's been brilliant this season for us. And look at our defensive record, that's our heaviest defeat. We've not conceded that many goals in the league in a game. We've been good defensively, and Kirk Broadfoot's a massive part of that. But at the weekend, he looked his age.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's playing too many games because also we're without Boys, Core, and he has to play. He's got no choice but to play. Is the 90 minutes every single week catching up with him? I mean, we'll find out tomorrow night if he has to start again, and that's 180 minutes in a few days that he has to play. But I'm not. It has been excellent for us this season. I will say that.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny the fact that the boy has ability, but it's like at his age, it's like you can't really rely on him to be starting just about every game. We had the same issue last season with Keith Watson. That's who else left, Keith Watson, where it was a case of he could play. Keith Watson was. It's like when he played, he'd have a run of about 3 or 4 games where he was really, really good, and then you get to game 5 and it starts to go down a bit, 6, 7, and then at some point he'll get injured for a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a case of him. It's like that's a case of him being his age and full-time football, whereas now are both playing part-time football. Where, let's face it, you're gonna have less strain on your body, and for someone his age, that's what works. But even then, there were criticisms about Kirk Broadfoot when he was down in the Lowland League. So for Morton to bring him
Kirk
back
Broadfoot
was
found that as a laugh,
weird.
to be
It was a
honest.
weird signing, and it was even more bizarre to see that he'd be given an extension over summer. But if he's doing it's like as a stand-in, like as you were saying, you've got a bunch of boys out injured, then perfectly fine to have. But like as a first team starter, like every game, then it's just not gonna work.
A big problem that I'm having with Morton this season is the general manager came out in the summer and said the transfer policy is to sign young players who don't have injuries as like a track record. Cammy Ballantyne's out injured, the 2 goalkeepers are out injured. Nobody's seen Nathan Shaw play for us yet. Dylan Corr picked up a shoulder injury last season for Raith Rovers. He played against St Johnstone and picked up the same injury for us this season. Morgan Boys is injured. We sign a guy that's smuggling drugs into the country up front and then put us in a hell of a lot of bother. We're signing guys that are injured all the time.
Guys that are injured physically and also mentally, apparently.
It just doesn't make any sense that I get people can get injured, but you've signed Nathan Shaw. He was injured at the end of last season for Inverness, and he's still injured right now. I don't even know if he's back in training yet for us. Dylan Cord, a shoulder injury, and we've seen him once. These guys are good football players, and we're not getting the chance to see them.
It's a real shame about Dylan Core because when he played for Raith, granted he didn't play that often, but when he did play, he played really well.
Yeah,
aside from maybe the games against Ross County, but then again, it was a case of he's a good young championship centre back. Like if you're like where we were last season as like a top end championship team, he was perfect to have on the bench. But it's like playing against a Premiership side, he struggled, and that's sort of to be expected.
Yeah,
but
we've got him for the next 3 seasons.
I rate Dylan Cole. I would have loved to have kept him, but I wasn't really too fussed about leaving. Considering the players we brought in, we brought in Hammond, we brought in Fordyce, I was more than happy with that. But yeah, it's a shame to see that Dylan Cole just hasn't got a break.
It is ideal knowing that we've got him for 3 more years. So there's a chance there for him to actually settle into the squad and get playing football regularly. But watching us play, it's as if the plan is to. We know we're good at keeping the ball now, so we want to keep the ball as long as we can in the first half, frustrate the other team, score 1 goal, and then go and defend. So we want, as if we want to win 1-0 every single week. And if we don't get that early goal, the players look at each other and say, "Oh shit!" Pretty much. What do we do now? There's no plan B. We don't go long anymore.
Aye. I was about to say there, like if they're sitting, if there's no plan B, like that, especially after going down, it's the same with us. I don't think we have won from a losing position since like 2019. So I can empathise with you on that regard, Aiden. It's like see when the players are looking around, see after going down, like you think if you go down 1-0, like your players should be looking at each other, going like, let's get right back into this. You know, we've got a chance. Not looking at each other, going, what the fuck do we do now? You know what I mean?
We've only done it once this season. It was away to Livingston. They scored, and then we went. That was us. We were fired up, and we went and get the equaliser. But other than that, when we go behind, the players just look in disbelief. We were 2-0 down, and Broadfoot's pass at Taryn Lyle has just sent it straight back to the goalie again. And we're just knocking about in wee triangles in their own half. Like, they don't know what to do because we just don't like going direct anymore. And it's all we've done for years and years. So now you're like, why is it gone? We're losing the game. Get the ball up to big 6'4" Stuparevic.
Yeah.
You guys complain about losing the heads after going 1-0 down. We lose the heads after going 1-0 up.
I prefer not to speak in all honesty. I've seen Thistle do that on many occasions as well. So I've seen us do it to Rangers in the top flight twice at Firhill when we should have beat them. We should have been like 3 or 2-0, 2 or 3-0 up, man, and they both came back. And, Joe Dodo scored a double in the first game after we went 1-0 up. And then the second one, Barry Mackay scored. We went 1-0 up again at first half, and then we could have easily beat them at 2-3-0 or something like that. And then Barry Mackay equalises, and Joey Garner scores a winner on the 94th minute, twice in the same season. We were the only team in that season to not pick up points against Rangers. Every other team did, apart from us. Which is nuts. So again, I know I went on a bit of a tangent there, but I can completely understand. It's nuts. It's wild. I thought it was explicitly only a Thistle thing, but this seems like therapy. Actually, I'm glad I've joined this call here.
One thing I will say though,
yeah,
I do agree with the manager though. What said at the end of the game, the club need to get a grip of themselves. We've suspended Andy Millen at the minute, and Dougie's doing absolutely everything on his own. Andy Millen's been suspended for backing up his son. It's embarrassing from our club, from the club that made the complaint as well, and we need to get a grip and bring him back in because Andy's been here under a number of different managers. The players all love him. You see it when we score goal. I think he's a set piece coach. We scored a lot of free kick last season under Robbie Muirhead, and they all went straight to Andy Millen. So he's a big figure in the team, and we've taken that away for the last few weeks now, and the results show it. So we do need to bring him back in, and it's embarrassing from both clubs.
If I speak. Anyway, we shall end our depression tour as we go over to Falkirk now. Derby Day again on fourth side, and it is Falkirk who take the spoils once again. It starts off pretty 50-50 actually. Falkirk start off with a couple of chances and Dunfermline have a couple, and there was one where Nicky Hogarth made a good save with his feet. It was a Dunfermline corner, got cleared out, shot from the edge of the box. It was a good save, but Ethan Ross gets the ball in the box and he takes a shot. It's past the keeper, but it hits the post.
Can I just say on Ethan Ross, I think he's the best player in the Championship.
It's a shout.
On the consistency that he's shown this season.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout as well. I think there could be about 3 or 4 players on that Falkirk team that are easily in with a shout. I was impressed with him at Firhill when we played them. We were lucky to get a point out of it, to be honest, but I think they looked really good this season as well.
I had a laugh last week saying it was Robbie Muirhead, but in all honesty, I think it is Ethan Ross. He's such a good player for Falkirk, and he's a big part of how they play.
He did so well against Raith, didn't he? Anyway, so Ethan Ross hits the post, but luckily for Falkirk, Chris Hamilton is there for it to just bounce off his stomach and just fall into the back of the net. It's one of those where it's just I'm not necessarily a neutral, but it is just one of those where it's you kind of just have to laugh at it, at how unfortunate it is for Hamilton. Because there's nothing you can do about that.
Scotland conceded a similar goal to that in 2011 when we played Czech Republic as well, when we drew them 2-2 at Hampton. I'm trying to think. It might have been. I think it might have come off a Plaggio when it hit him right in the stomach. It's quite similar to that.
But after that, it was still 50-50, It's Falkirk trying to get a second, Dunfermline trying to get an equaliser. There was one where shot again from just outside the box, just flashes across the post. There was... it was a diving header. It was a diving header from Justin from about like 10 yards out that just went wide, and it's just sort of like this Dunfermline team just doesn't know how to put the ball in the back of the net. I'd seen it said where it's a case of if Dunfermline knew how to score, then this game is easily like a 2-2 or whatever. It was unlucky for them, but then second half starts. There wasn't. It was more of the same again, where Falkirk probably had like the slight advantage. Dylan Tate makes a run into the box, but then falls over and gets booked for diving. Which, looking at it, yeah, like he's gone down on the like barely any contact. Like,
it was the same against us at Capital. They get the penalty, the minimal contact, but he's one of those players that gets down when he feels anything, and only a certain type of referee is going to give it. So you're going to start building a reputation.
Yeah, like some referee, it's one of those where it's just like when you see it be given, you're just sort of like, that's a bit soft. But it's like this one, it was just like, nah, that one's dive. It was a dive. But it didn't really matter. Is Calvin Miller was there to tap home in the 57th minute, give Falkirk a nice 2-0 cushion, even though it's a case of, again, as I was saying, it could have easily been however many for Dunfermline by that point as well. Mm-hmm. Lewis McCann, however, does finally put the ball in the back of the net for Dunfermline on the 72nd minute. And then there was another chance later on where it's a deep free kick. It's come into the edge of the box. Nicky Hogarth's come out to try and collect it, but the ball's been headed over him. But Graham is there to clear it, and it finishes 2-1 to Falkirk, who again stay top of the table. Is another win for them, unbeaten in 5 now. Looking pretty good for them still.
It says a lot when you can perform below par and still come away with 3 points. That's a team that belong at the top end of the table.
Yeah, that is a sign of champions, like grinding out results and getting wins when you're not necessarily playing well. You know what I mean? That's how you win the league, pretty much. You know what I mean? So
I've said it before as well about John McGlynn. He knows how to get the best out of players.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ethan Rossi spent time at Raith, was it? Mm-hmm. Calvin Miller was at us. He was good at us, but he was nowhere near this level. Gary Oliver as well. He gets the best out of the players.
I think Calvin Miller's, like, ever since he signed for Falkirk, I think he's looked really good.
Yeah.
That again, Falkirk are probably the only kind of new team that's, like, for what I've seen, the only team that's going to really impress me. Like, even when they're pressing as well, I think they're really good when they're pressing. I've always liked that argument, Alfie argument. I think it's just a Thistle thing. We just cannot deal with big physical strikers. Like, whether it's Calvin Zola at Aberdeen years ago, whether it's Joel Newbley when he played for Arbroath and that. But argument as well. He was a big physical. We played Falkirk in the League Cup last season, and he absolutely battered us. He's one as well. It's always impressed me. I've got Falkirk fans that don't really rate him that much, but anytime I've seen him, I think he's always looked really good. So that they do have a really, really good squad there.
He reminds me quite a bit of Bob McHugh when he was at Falkirk. He was always on the bench. He'd come on and make an impact.
Aye, absolutely.
He done it against us as well. We were 2-0 up against him. They pull it back to 2-2. He comes on off the bench, manhandles the defence, and rolls it in the corner.
We've always historically struggled playing against big physical strikers. That's why Chris Boyd and even Lawrence Shankland's got a really good goal scoring record against us. You know what I mean? And I don't know what it is. I don't know why, because we've got big people at the back. But this is when, like, for example, when Joel Newbley was playing for Arbroath, we had like Kevin Holt at the back, and we had players like that. Aaron Muirhead at the back, who's not a pushover, and he's absolutely. He's putting them on their arse, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, what you know what I mean? So, Falkirk have definitely got a really good team. Early days, I still think it's early days, and it is Falkirk we're talking about here. But I've probably just made an arse myself. That's them winning the league by like 20 points ahead now. But I think they've got a really good team. But again, it's early days, you know what I mean?
I'm still going to stand by what I said last week. Livingston will win the league, but Falkirk will push them.
Yeah, I think Livy are up there as well. I would not put take our names out of the hat just yet. But I don't know. It's still early days, but it's really looking good for Falkirk at the moment. Livy as well. I feel like Martindale was playing a blinder by not like he's no putting them as like favourites. You know, he's come out and he's just done his job. You know what I mean? And I feel that's going to help Livy. He's not really put any real pressure on them. You know what I mean? Taking a win the league, but it's looking good for Falkirk. But I think there's still a few teams in it.
I feel like Falkirk have helped Livingston go about their business though, because a lot of people are keeping an eye on Falkirk. They went to Celtic Park and done well, so it's all everybody's Falkirk this, Falkirk that. So Livy are just quietly going about their business. Nobody's bothering about them, so they don't care. But you know, there's no headlines about them.
Yeah.
I think we should also mention, though, when it comes to Falkirk, that the clocks have recently gone back. So, as someone who has seen John McGlynn slides many a times, expect them to finish fourth now. So, we go west now to a Glasgow derby, the big one, the proper one. Queen's Park against Partick Thistle. So, Kieran, you were at the game.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good game. I didn't get into the ground till like 5-10 minutes after kickoff. Because the queues for they had problems with the kind of ticketing thing. So, missed about maybe 5-10 minutes of the game. Got in just in time. We went 1-0 up through Gogan Chalmers. It was a pretty scrappy goal. But he did react fast to it. He did react quick to it, and good on him. That's now his first goal in the Thistle shirt, which I hope that does leaps and bounds for his confidence. I felt like when Logan Chalmers signed, I thought he was like, apart from obviously when Kyle Turner signed, I thought he was going to be like the start, like the signing of the season. He's always played really. He's been one of the players that has played absolutely fantastic. Against us. He scored an absolute belter for Ayr at Firhill as well. But the start of the season, he's not really kicked on. It's only really been like last week against Falkirk. No, not last week against Falkirk, sorry. Last week against when we were home to Airdrie, sorry. He looked fantastic. And I think hopefully now as well, he kind of builds a partnership with Megwa. Because I think that's what he was missing. He was missing we were playing Waziri Williams at right back instead of, we didn't have a natural right back. So I think that was what Chalmers was missing, that partnership with a natural right back. But now obviously we've got Megwa. So I think they're starting to build a really good relationship with each other. Queen's Park had their chances in the game. If it wasn't for Miles Roberts, we'd be down. We'd be down the fucking bottom of the table. I think if it wasn't for Miles Roberts, he gets better week in, week out. Like, he is probably the best keeper in the championship.
I agree with that.
He's fantastic. As well as that, I generally think we had a good keeper in Tam Cherney years ago, but I think he's been the best since then. I don't want to go out and say he's better than Cherney. Don't think so. He's still a young boy. He's still there's still things for him to work on. I feel, but like the age he is and the way he commands his box is amazing. Like the way he comes out for corners, and he's fantastic. But I made Miles Roberts was fantastic on Saturday. Zach Crudden had a 1-on-1, which honestly, personally, I think he should have done. But that's not a slight on Miles Roberts making the save. Man, he made himself look big and got down to it. It was quite end to end. I felt, but again, we had our chances to make it like 2-3-0. We probably on another day we probably could have won more than that, but one more than just one. But Queen's Park did make it hard for us, and I think they are a pretty decent side. I think Callum Davidson manages them well. I do think they've got quality in their side, but we just obviously done enough to get over the line. Dan O'Reilly as well. I generally think he's one of the most underrated defenders in the league. I think he's fantastic. He wins absolutely everything with aggression, and he just wins absolutely everything in the air. And he's been absolutely fantastic as well. I don't know if Callum would like to chime in on Dan O'Reilly. Obviously seen him at
Dan O'Reilly's a good centre back. I mean, I've
yeah.
got good memories of him because he scored twice against the Townies.
Oh yeah.
But I was gutted that we couldn't keep him for longer than the short-term contract that we had him on. So
yeah. But I thought it was even defensively. I thought we were fantastic on Saturday. But I win in a clean sheet. You take that absolutely all day. And hopefully we start to kick on now. Next week we obviously leapfrogged Queen's Park as well. Next week we've got Pars at East End Park. So hopefully, we get another result out of that. Saturday was a massive win for us in terms of the table, I think. Because I think we've dropped a lot of points this season now. We need to get back on. We need to get back on the thing, mate. And 2 wins and 2. You absolutely take it. Get into next week.
How's Robbie Crawford getting on this season at Thistle?
He's been doing all right. He's been getting played in his natural position when he first signed for us. We had him in the 21-22 season, and McCall was playing him in right wing. And like that was he did get a goal for us in that season, but like he was like getting played in his right position. This season, I think he's been doing all right. I think he's been decent. I rated him. I think he's a great player, but obviously we never got to see him at his best because he was getting played on the wing.
We had him just off the striker last season and the season before, and he done really well, as you've seen.
He's a workhorse as well, man. He puts absolutely everything into it, into his performance. I think he's really good.
Can you win?
Yeah, I was going to say that's you're starting to get a run of form together. I believe I mentioned beforehand where it's a case of I felt that Partick would come good at some point. It was just a case of waiting for it to click, and if they didn't, then that would be Thistle probably gone. But since that, I think it was after that Aki's game that I said it.
Wow.
Since then, you've drawn at home against Livingston, which I thought was a good result, and then again drawing against Falkirk. You've faced the top 2 in the league and you've come away with 2 draws. That's pretty good going considering the situation you're in. And now you've got 2 wins on the bounce, so it seems like Thistle are back up and firing again.
Yeah, but, I don't know, because I felt if we didn't win last week against Airdrie, Doolan was I feared for Doolan, to be honest. He had to win last week, and we did. Now the team look a lot more confident. Like at the start of the season, it looked like the team looked like they did need quite a bit of time to gel together, and it seems like they have started to gel together now. But we can't go from like winning 2 games, then we goes against Pars and be like, oh well, we won 2 games like the last couple of games. Like we need to be consistent now. You know what I mean? This league's about being consistent. Sorry. If you want to. If you want to win the league, if you want to get promotion, I mean, you have to be consistent. And we have to go up this season.
Is that the expectation for the season then? Yeah. Looking at it right this second, when you've got Falkirk, Livingston, the start Airhad, is it still promotion?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we still need to go for it. Like we've had a crack, at like getting the playoffs, man. But we need to go up. Like financially, we have to go up. Like we can't afford. we can't afford to go up. We can't afford to stay down again. And because when you looked at the season, when you looked at the league at the start of the season, there was no real big hitters. Sorry, you've not got a Hearts or a Dundee United or a Kilmarnock or whatnot. It's teams that you're looking at it going, this team's that an open league, and to be fair, it's looking like that still. But you're looking at it going, we need to have a go at this. We've gotten quite close to obviously through the playoffs, but we're we need to go up. But yeah, that's still the expectation.
On paper, do you think you're better than Falkirk, Livingston, on a par with them?
I think on paper, we're on par, but we need to like pick up results against these teams that are round about us. Also, we're getting draws in that, but we need to like beat them in that as well. But it's like teams down the bottom, like for example, drawn by Morton 0-0 at home in the opening day. Losing to
1-0 loss to Raith.
Yeah, 1-0. Yeah, like Raith and that as well. But like, you know what I mean? Like, we always find ways to absolutely fuck us. You know what I mean? Like, the couple of seasons before, we dropped to. I think we dropped 7 points to Hamilton and Cove, like each. We lost to Hamilton and Cove back to back at home. And they were the two teams that went down that season. So you're like you need to look at that. You need to pick up points when it's necessary. But
we lost out on the title last season because we kept fucking it against Arbroath.
Yeah,
and Airdrie, but granted, Airdrie were a decent side last season.
Oh yeah.
Arbroath were not.
Yeah, but I don't know. Hopefully now we can kick on. But I think we're waiting for like teams above us as well. It'd be good if they started dropping points. But again, right now I don't really. Apart from obviously Falkirk losing to Raith and that, I don't really see them, doing that at the moment. I think Falkirk have, they've got a consistency there, and Livy are, just doing their job. Yeah, I mean as well. So, but hopefully we can kick on. You know, what I mean, Dunfermline away is a tough away day. As poor as Dunfermline are, I don't think they weren't that good at all against us for Hill. We beat them a couple of weeks ago, but Dunfermline away it's always a tough kind of place to go. So, it should hopefully be a good game, but it's a game where I'd be looking at getting another 3 points.
And the team that did get another 3 points was Ayr, as they managed to win 1-0 against Airdrie. Now, to be fair to Airdrie, they started off the better side with this one. They nearly scored from kickoff. A kickoff that Ayr took. It's like Ayr lost the ball within 10 seconds, and then you had whoever the number 7 was, I can't remember, but it's like he was through on goal with like one defender next to him, but it's like his shot went wide, and then there was 2 more really good chances, both of them coming in from the right, and it was a case of like, hold on a minute, this Airdrie team's bottom and this Ayr team is fighting at the top. What's going on here? And then, but Ayr start to get into it. The first half just sort of peters out. A couple of their chances. Come to the second half, Airdrie have a penalty show. Again, like the Dylan Teat incident, it was one where it's like, that's a bit soft. It's one of those where it's like, actually no, it's not as soft as Dylan Teat's one because Dylan Teat died. But it was one where it's like, you're annoyed that it's not given for you, but you're annoyed if it's given against you.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that's 50-50 where you're like, you can see them being given, and then the other ones you can if you can see that penalty, like what the fuck, why, like how is that a penalty? Then if you're not giving it, you're like, how the fuck, like that should be a penalty, you know what I mean? So,
absolutely,
yeah.
But we then have Ayr scoring from a corner, and it was just. It's like I had to watch the highlights for this like a good 2 or 3 times to realize what on earth happened because it just looked like an absolute mess. But McLennan, he was offside, and that's what threw me off because I'm like, so someone's headed it from the edge of the 18-yard box. It's almost as if I don't think he's touched it, but it's a whole sort of interference. Where it seems as though like he might get in the way of the goalkeeper or whatever. Or he was like in an offside position from the get-go, and that's what got it called off. I mean, like we don't have 16 cameras to check, but Ayr would get their winning strike from. Oh God, what's his name? Why can I not read my handwriting?
Dylan Wattrip.
What was his Wattrip?
Yeah, Dylan Wattrip.
Yeah, Dylan Wattrip. That's it. And it's some strike. Like the ball just falls to him perfectly, and he just hits it from 20 yards, about 20 yards, just into the top right corner. It's a really good hit. It's a goal worthy winning of any game.
Oh, definitely.
But it's like once again, it's Airdrie are just not getting anywhere.
No,
They're really not.
I thought when they played against us, I thought they looked all right, but again, at the same time, we battered them in the first half until they kind of got their equaliser back and it kind of settled them down a bit. But we could have been like 3 or 4 up. Wasn't until it actually made things harder for us when Airdrie went 10 men down because it threw our plan to fuck. Like we're like it was actually harder playing against 10 men than 11 men. But I thought they were all right. I think they've still got quality on their side, but I don't know. You're playing Airdrie next week, Callum? Yeah.
Yeah, we play them on Tuesday. Now the thing is, like
True.
the bottom two, it's like they both have 1 win each,
Yeah.
and both of them have come against Raith.
Oh.
I am terrified.
Yeah. Like again, I don't know what it is, but like I think before that, you said a pretty before last season. Sorry, you said a pretty decent record against Airdrie. Am I right in saying that?
That's because Ian Murray was in charge.
Yeah.
Genuinely, Ian Murray has not won a game when it's been between Raith and Airdrie, and he has managed both teams for about 3 seasons or whatever. It's just so. What are you doing? How does that happen?
That's a big game, to be honest, on Tuesday. That's
Absolutely.
This never must not
It's like the
lose
way things are going, it's a game that is going to get football stopped.
Did you say it was? What did you say they're Aiden again? Sorry.
For Airdrie, Tuesday night, obviously game in hand. Is this now a must not lose or a must not win? A must win for them.
For both teams, it is absolutely a must win. Because with Raith, it's like we've not been getting the results the performances deserve, but also if we do lose this game, we are in serious trouble.
Yeah,
because it's
it's wild. Like Raith were like they were talking about us us and Raith being the title favourites and that. And,
because last season we were comfortably clear. Both of us were comfortably clear of the rest of the championship. It's like we were 14 points clear of you guys in third, and it's like Thistle were third from November
definitely.
and just did not leave third, just very consistently.
Yeah. But I think that was testament to how kind of poor the top flight. Not the top flight, sorry. I wish we were in the top flight. The championship was last season. It was quite poor, but how tight it was. Not poor, but how tight the championship was last season. But I wouldn't have thought Raith been in this poor form. I thought you would have been right up there with us, and obviously where Falkirk and that is as well. I didn't think Falkirk would be doing that good. Just to go back on kind of Falkirk, I didn't imagine Falkirk being that good. I thought they'd have been round about the playoffs, 4th or 5th or something like that. But I couldn't imagine them being this good at the moment. But I think Airdrie are. I don't know if they'll have just about enough to stay up, but Tuesday's a big game for both teams, not just Raith, not just Airdrie, not just Raith or Airdrie, but it's a big game for both teams, and it should be a cracker. Is it at Starks or Excelsior?
It's at Starks.
It's at Starks.
The thing is, it's like since Neil Collins come in, I've only missed the Morton match.
Yeah.
And aside from the Dunfermline game, I've come away from games thinking, how on earth have we not won that? Every single week, every single Saturday, it's just something just goes cataclysmically wrong. There's one moment, and it's if that happens every now and then, you're just okay, that's just football. That's just how it happens. But it's happening every week.
You both seem to have a discipline.
The Airdrie team are not good. They're clearly not.
No.
And it's...
You both seem to have a problem with keeping players on the pitch as well.
Yeah.
Airdrie get a man sent off against us. They get a man sent off against Thistle. Usually getting somebody sent off every second week.
2 weeks in a row we've had someone sent off.
That tackle, I think it was McGrattan that gets sent off for Airdrie last week. Shocking. Really, really bad. It was like it was nearly a fucking taekwondo move on Kyle Turner. It was that bad. Bit of half something too, man.
Which is more egregious than anything we have ever done this season, by the way.
Yeah. Like when you're down at that bottom of the table, like you're looking for that one stroke of luck, man. But like when you're down at the bottom of that table, you don't get the Robbie Green. Sorry if that's a mad cliche there, but like you don't get the Robbie Green, man. You're like, when's the next win coming from? And fair enough if it's like 2 months into the season, but now we're nearly in November now, and I would be very worried, So I think you are, Callum, worried. But if you're coming away from Tuesday night not winning, not beating Airdrie, I'd be very concerned.
I think we're under the radar right here. If we lose to Queen's Park tomorrow night, I think we're in a bit of bother as well.
I thought Morton would be really poor at the moment, but would have been right down there. But I think you've been picking up decent results as well along the way. But
we've just been good defensively. It's trying to score goals, but also brought in Big Philip now, and he knows how to score.
1-0 Just get the first goal and shut up shop.
Exactly. We'll score in the first minute. Philip Stuparevic, and then it'll be 89 minutes of defending.
Who's Morton got next week, Aiden?
We've got Queen's Park tomorrow night. So we need to.
Is that a Capel or
Capel?
Yeah, because you played them at Leicester the last time, didn't you?
Yeah, very poor at the game at Leicester Hampden, so we've got a lot to learn from it. But again, with all these injuries, and we're missing Ali Crawford. I never thought I'd say that. We miss Ali Crawford badly in the middle of the park.
Imagine getting to watch games at Leicester Hampden.
Last thing as well, see Hampden on Saturday, man. It's so fucking sold. 400 fans there. About 5 Queen's Park fan. A man needs Doug right in the Queen's Park. No, I'm taking a piss. About I'd say it's 60 Queen's Park fans or something like that, right? In a 50,000 seater stadium. It's
we went to Hampden last season. Remember when was it? There was floods everywhere. At the start of last season, so nobody could make the game. There's about 40 Morton fans in the corner, 10 Queen's Park fans next to us, and we're inside Hampden.
Shocking.
You could have played that down at a local park.
Yeah.
And it finished 0-0.
No, that is the most that is the game that has 0-0 written all over it, man. 40 Morton fans, 10 Queen's Park fans, man. Yeah. And a pushing down Hampden, man. You know what I mean?
I remember Robbie Muirhead hit the bar and you could hear the metal clang through the whole stadium. It was that quiet.
You can see all the rain dripping off it as well. Aye.
Right, so we'll move on to the next round of fixtures. Well, next 2 round of fixtures, technically, because we do have 3 games on the Tuesday night. As mentioned, we have Greenock Morton at home to Queen's Park and Raith against Airdrie in a bottom of the table clash. And I swear to God, if we lose to Airdrie again, don't expect me to see me on this podcast anymore. And the other Tuesday night game is Dunfermline at home to Livingston, and then on the Friday, Raith at home to Ayr. I'd like to thank BBC Scotland for making it so that we have to play 3 games in 6 days. Excellent scheduling. But on the Saturday, Airdrie, they're at home to Hamilton in a Lanarkshire derby. We have Dunfermline at home to Partick Thistle, Falkirk at home to Greenock Morton. Have fun with that one, Aiden. And Livingston at home to Queen's Park.
Yeah, I won't be here next week.
Kieran, are you ready to host on your own?
Stu can do it. Stu can do it. But see with Falkirk and Morton, Aiden, there's still a bit of, obviously I knew because of the whole McKinnon things, there's still a bit of needle with that game.
No, really, because Falkirk also disappeared for a number of years into League One. So we had to kind of laughing at them. And McKinnon did mess them up a wee bit as well. But I think, seeing you look at the Ultras side of it, they they use it to lap it up a wee bit and build an atmosphere. But I wouldn't say there's any like malice in it anymore.
I remember going into I think it was in Austin, Capel, and like you've got McKinnon's head on the dartboard.
We still sing Super Ray McKinnon at games when we're winning.
No.
You remember the Greenock Telegraph where it's like
the Judas poster.
The Judas poster that everyone was taking to the game. That was happening.
I always wanted to know where we would end up if he stayed as manager, because we were top of the league before he had left. Nobody could lay a finger on us, and then he decided to go to a team with 0 points at the bottom of the league.
And then get relegated.
I have no idea what happened there.
We ended up with Jonathan. He might get relegated again. He might get relegated again from League 2. Because there's like it's like under the radar last season for a team in a relegation scrap, and it's like they're in one again. Mental. But yes, as much as I joke about it, we will be back for next week, results depending. So that is all for the three of us, and we will see you next week.